Hello, Gemini. I just finished pulling cards for you about the 7 karmic stages coming your way, and honestly, I need to share this with you because what came through is really something special. I pulled 6 cards total, and each one revealed a different layer of this karmic journey you are walking through right now. So let me take you through what the universe is showing me about your path. Before I dive into the first card, I want you to know that karmic stages are not punishments. They are teacher moments. They are the universe saying, hey, here is something you need to learn, something you need to understand about yourself, about your patterns, about the way you move through the world. And Gemini, with your dual nature and your quick mind, these stages are going to challenge you in ways that actually help you grow into the person you are meant to become. The first card I pulled for you is Death, and I know that might sound intense, but stay with me here. This card is not about physical endings at all. What Death is showing me for your first karmic stage is that you are going through a massive transformation right now. Something in your life needs to completely die away so that something new can be born. And for you, Gemini, this is specifically about letting go of old versions of yourself that no longer serve you. I am seeing this energy where you have been holding on to certain identities or ways of being because they felt comfortable or familiar. Maybe you have been the person who always says yes to everyone. Or maybe you have been playing small because it felt safer. The Death card is telling me that this first karmic stage is about releasing those old skins. You cannot take them with you where you are going. The universe is asking you to transform, to shed, to completely let go of patterns that have been keeping you stuck. What makes this particularly interesting for Gemini energy is that you are naturally adaptable, you can shift and change easily. But this Death card is asking for something deeper than just adaptation. It is asking for complete metamorphosis. Think of it like a caterpillar turning into a butterfly. The caterpillar does not just grow wings. It has to completely dissolve in that chrysalis and reform as something entirely new. That is what this karmic stage is about for you. I am also picking up that some of you Geminis might be experiencing this as the death of a relationship or a friendship that you thought would last forever. The Death card can show up when connections that were built on old versions of who we were need to fall away. And here's the thing, this might hurt. Transformation usually does, but on the other side of this death is rebirth. On the other side of this ending is a new beginning that is so much more aligned with who you are becoming. The karmic lesson here is about acceptance. Can you accept that some things must end? Can you stop fighting against the natural cycles of death and rebirth in your life? Can you trust that what is falling away is making space for something better? This first stage is teaching you that holding on too tight actually prevents growth. The universe is showing you that true power comes from knowing when to let go. Now, the second card I pulled is the Sun, and after that heavy death energy, this feels like such a beautiful shift. The Sun is showing me that your second karmic stage is about reclaiming your joy, your light, your authentic self-expression. After that period of transformation and letting go, you are going to step into a phase where everything just feels brighter and clearer. What I am really loving about the Sun showing up here for you, Gemini, is that it represents clarity and truth. You know how sometimes you can overthink things or get caught up in seeing every side of a situation? The Sun is that moment when all the confusion burns away and you just know what is true. You know what you want, you know who you are, you know what brings you genuine happiness. This karmic stage is about discovering or rediscovering what makes you feel alive. I am getting this really strong message that some of you have been dimming your light to make other people comfortable. Maybe you have been playing down your intelligence or your talents because you did not want to seem like you were showing off. Maybe you have been hiding parts of your personality because you thought they were too much or too different. The Sun is saying that this karmic stage is about letting yourself shine without apology. The lesson here is about authenticity and confidence. The universe is teaching you that your light does not diminish anyone else's light. Your joy does not take away from anyone else's happiness. In fact, when you shine brightly, you give other people permission to do the same. This stage is about learning that being fully yourself is not selfish. It is actually the most generous thing you can do because you inspire others to be authentic too. I am also seeing that the Sun can bring recognition and success in this stage. After you have done that hard work of transformation, after you have let go of what was not serving you, you are going to step into a period where people really see you and appreciate you for who you are. Opportunities might start showing up that feel aligned with your true self. Relationships might deepen because you are showing up more authentically. This is the reward stage after the difficult work of the first karmic phase. For you, Gemini, the Sun is also about integrating your dual nature in a healthy way. You are learning that you do not have to choose between different parts of yourself. You can be serious and playful. You can be intellectual and emotional. You can be social and need alone time. The sun illuminates all of you and shows you that every aspect of who you are deserves to be celebrated. The third card that came through is Five of Cups. And this one is showing me that your third karmic stage involves working through disappointment and learning how to handle loss in a healthier way. I know we just talked about the sun and all that beautiful light, but the karmic journey is not linear. Sometimes we cycle through different energies and lessons. The Five of Cups is really interesting, because when I look at this card, I see someone standing there focused on 3 spilled cups, while 2 full cups remain behind them. This is about perspective, Gemini. This karmic stage is teaching you where you place your attention and your energy. Are you focused on what went wrong, or can you turn around and see what is still good, what is still available to you? I am picking up that some of you might go through or have already gone through a period of real disappointment. Maybe something you worked hard for did not pan out the way you hoped. Maybe someone let you down in a significant way. Maybe you lost something or someone important. The Five of Cups validates that those feelings of sadness and loss are real and they matter. The universe is not asking you to bypass your grief or pretend everything is fine when it is not. But here is the karmic lesson. And this is so important for your Gemini energy that tends to mentally process everything. You cannot think your way out of grief. You have to feel it. This stage is teaching you that emotional processing is just as important as mental understanding. You need to let yourself sit with the sadness, acknowledge what you lost, honor what mattered to you. Only then can you truly move forward. What I am also seeing with this card is that the karmic work here involves learning not to get stuck in disappointment. Yes, feel your feelings. Yes, grieve what needs to be grieved. But there comes a point where you need to turn around and see those 2 cups that are still standing. There comes a moment where you need to choose to focus on what remains, what is still possible, what is still good in your life. For Gemini specifically, this stage might be about learning that not every door that closes is a tragedy. Sometimes the universe is redirecting you towards something better. Sometimes what feels like failure is actually protection. Sometimes losing something you wanted makes space for something you need. The Five of Cups is teaching you to trust the bigger picture even when you cannot see it yet. I am also getting that this karmic stage involves learning healthy emotional boundaries. You might be someone who takes on other people's disappointments or who gets really affected by other people's moods. The Five of Cups is saying that while empathy is beautiful, you cannot carry everyone's emotional baggage. You have to learn what is yours to feel and process and what belongs to other people. This is part of the karmic work around emotional maturity. The fourth card I pulled is Knight of Cups. And this is where things get really interesting because after that period of working through disappointment, you are moving into a stage where new emotional opportunities start flowing toward you. The Knight of Cups is that romantic, idealistic, emotionally available energy that shows up when you have done your inner work. What I am seeing here is that this fourth karmic stage is about learning to be open to love again, to connection again, to feeling deeply again. After you have processed those disappointments from the Five of Cups, after you have learned those lessons about where to focus your attention, the Knight of Cups arrives as an invitation. The universe is saying, okay, you have healed enough now to receive something beautiful. For you, Gemini, the Knight of Cups might show up as an actual person entering your life. This could be a romantic partner who offers you the kind of emotional depth and connection you have been craving. But it could also represent you becoming that Knight of Cups energy yourself. You are learning to lead with your heart instead of just your head. You are discovering that vulnerability is actually strength, that opening up emotionally does not make you weak. The karmic lesson of this stage is about emotional courage. It takes bravery to love again after you have been hurt. It takes courage to be vulnerable again after you have been disappointed. The Knight of Cups is teaching you that the risk is worth it, that staying closed off to protect yourself from potential pain also closes you off from potential joy. This stage is about learning that you can be emotionally intelligent and still choose to be emotionally available. I am also picking up that the Knight of Cups brings creative and intuitive energy. This karmic stage might involve you tapping into artistic pursuits or listening more closely to your intuition. You might find yourself drawn to creative projects that allow you to express your emotions in new ways. Or you might discover that your intuition is speaking to you more clearly now that you have done that emotional healing work. What is really beautiful about this card for Gemini is that it helps balance out your air sign tendency to live in your head. The Knight of Cups is water energy. It is feelings. It is intuition. It is the realm of the heart. This karmic stage is teaching you that your emotional intelligence is just as valuable as your mental intelligence. You are learning to integrate both and become a more whole person. The fifth card that showed up is Justice. And wow, this one feels significant because justice is all about karmic balance and consequences. This fifth karmic stage is where you really start to see the results of all the work you have been doing. The universe has been watching, taking notes, and now it is time for things to balance out. Justice is telling me that whatever you have been putting out into the world is coming back to you. If you have been doing the work, being honest, treating people fairly, making choices from integrity, then you are going to see positive returns during this stage. Opportunities will align, relationships will improve, situations will work out in your favor. But justice also means that if there are areas where you have been cutting corners or not being fully truthful with yourself or others, those things are going to come to light too. For Gemini energy, this is particularly interesting because you can sometimes rationalize things or see situations from so many angles that you convince yourself something is okay, when deep down you know it is not quite right. Justice is that moment when you cannot hide from the truth anymore. The karmic scales are balancing, and you have to face the reality of your choices and actions. The lesson of this stage is about accountability and integrity. The universe is teaching you that you cannot escape the consequences of your actions, good or bad. But here is what makes this empowering rather than scary. When you live with integrity, when you make choices aligned with your values, when you treat yourself and others with respect, justice becomes your ally. The karmic balance works in your favor. I am seeing that for some of you, this justice stage might involve legal matters or official decisions being made, court cases being resolved, contracts being signed, agreements being reached. But more broadly, justice represents any situation where fairness and truth are required. This could be finally having that honest conversation you have been avoiding. This could be standing up for yourself when you have been treated unfairly. This could be making amends where you know you were wrong. What I really want you to understand about this fifth karmic stage is that justice is not about punishment. It is about balance. The universe is not trying to get you. It is trying to teach you. And one of the most important lessons is that your choices matter. Your actions have consequences. The way you treat people comes back to you. The energy you put out returns to you. This stage is about learning to live with that awareness and make choices accordingly. The final card I pulled for you is Queen of Cups, and this feels like such a perfect culmination of your karmic journey. After everything you have been through, after all the transformation and healing and learning, you emerge as the Queen of Cups. This is the most emotionally mature, compassionate, intuitive version of yourself. The Queen of Cups represents someone who has been through the depths and come out the other side with wisdom and grace. She has felt all the feelings, she has cried all the tears, she has processed all the pain, and now she sits on her throne with this deep well of emotional intelligence and intuitive knowing. This sixth karmic stage is about embodying that energy. What I am seeing for you, Gemini, is that this final stage is where all those previous lessons come together and make sense. The transformation of death taught you to let go. The illumination of the sun taught you to shine authentically. The disappointment of Five of Cups taught you resilience. The openness of Knight of Cups taught you emotional courage. The accountability of justice taught you integrity. And now the Queen of Cups is showing you how to take all of that wisdom and become someone who can hold space for others while still honoring your own emotional needs. This karmic stage is about mastering the balance between empathy and boundaries. The Queen of Cups cares deeply about others, but she does not lose herself in other people's emotions. She can sit with someone in their pain without taking on their pain as her own. She can offer support and compassion while still maintaining her own emotional well-being. For Gemini, who can sometimes struggle with boundaries because you see and understand everyone's perspective, this is such an important lesson to learn. I am also picking up that the Queen of Cups brings really strong intuitive abilities. In this final karmic stage, you are going to find that you just know things. Your gut feelings are accurate. Your dreams might become more meaningful. You might start picking up on energies and vibes that you did not notice before. This is because you have done the inner work to clear out your own emotional clutter, so now you have space to receive intuitive downloads more clearly. The Queen of Cups is also about creative and nurturing energy. You might find yourself drawn to caregiving roles or creative pursuits that allow you to channel your emotional depth. Some of you might step into mentor or guide roles where you help others navigate their own emotional journeys. You have walked the path and earned the wisdom, and now you have something valuable to offer. What I really love about ending with the Queen of Cups for you, Gemini, is that it shows you integrating your mental and emotional selves in the most beautiful way. You still have your quick wit and your intellectual curiosity, but now you also have this deep emotional wisdom. You can think and feel, you can analyze and intuit, you can be in your head and in your heart. This is the ultimate karmic achievement for your sign. So let me bring this all together for you. These 7 karmic stages I am calling 7, but we worked through 6 major energy phases, are not separate, isolated events. They are all connected, they are all building on each other, they are all teaching you something essential about who you are and who you are becoming. You are moving from transformation to illumination, to disappointment, to emotional openness, to accountability, to emotional mastery. Each stage prepares you for the next one. The overall karmic message for you, Gemini, is about integration and wholeness. You are learning to bring together all the different parts of yourself, the mental and the emotional, the light and the shadow, the joy and the pain. You are discovering that you do not have to choose between different aspects of who you are. You can be complex and multifaceted, and that is actually your greatest strength. I want you to know that wherever you are in these stages right now is exactly where you need to be. Maybe you are in that death transformation phase, and everything feels like it is falling apart. Trust that something better is being built. Maybe you are in the sun phase and everything feels amazing. Enjoy it and know you have earned this light. Maybe you are working through 5 of Cups disappointment. Feel your feelings and know that better days are coming. Wherever you are exactly on track. The cards are showing me that your karmic journey is ultimately about becoming more authentically and fully yourself. Every challenge is stripping away what is false. Every lesson is revealing more of your truth. Every stage is bringing you closer to the person you came here to be. And that person, that fully realized version of you, is the Queen of Cups sitting in her power, emotionally intelligent, intuitively connected, compassionately present. So, Gemini, as you move through these karmic stages, remember to be gentle with yourself. Remember that transformation is not comfortable, but it is necessary. Remember that your feelings are valid even when your mind wants to rationalize them away. Remember that vulnerability is strength, and authenticity is magnetic. Remember that every ending makes space for a new beginning. Can anyone else relate to these karmic stages? Drop a comment and let me know where you are in your journey right now. I would love to hear how this resonates with you.